Hi and welcome back, my name is Emily. In this video I will be using a brayer a lot. I saw a video from Jennifer McGuire and I got super inspired, so I wanted to bring my tools out and have a play. And it ended up being 3 cards in the end, but I have a lot of panels left that I can use for later projects if I like. My plan is to maybe cut those strips or panels that I have left into small strips and maybe puzzle piece them together to create a project, but we'll see if I get around to do it. So here you can see I'm taking my brayer. I'm just using a piece of copy paper underneath my better paper here. It's some Nina 80 pound cardstock, and I'm using inks from Concord and Ninth, so these are really juicy. And I went with a color scheme here that was pink, orange and yellow, and you can see I also putting down the inks in spots of tree. So that is what inspired me from the video with Jennifer McGuire, just to have a play and use your brayer. I haven't used this tool a lot. I have a brayer that I bought in the past. This is a newer Tim Holtz one. My older one is more firm, if that makes sense. These are really like soft, and I haven't played enough with them for like get a grip of how to apply the pressure best. So this was really helpful, just to have a play and apply the ink and have a go with it. So if you haven't tried this technique, I encourage you to check out her video, as well as maybe just go ahead and play and use your stuff that you have at home. So all of this I just had at home, and you can use whatever you have. If you have an older brayer, you don't have to go out and buy a new one. You can use what you have. And just create some like graphic backgrounds. It was really fun, it was really easy, and you can see some of them I messed them up, but I was totally fine with it, because the goal wasn't to make anything perfect here. It was just to have fun and play around with color combinations and see how the ink was going to react when you put it on the brayer and then direct it to the paper. So anyway, I hope this explains the process here that I went when I did these. And yeah, so another thing that I have been thinking of doing, I saw a picture somewhere, I don't know who it was, but somebody put down a stencil and then put black ink through it, and I thought it looked super cool, so I really wanted to try that, and I thought this was the perfect panel to try it on. I know that I'm covering up a lot of it, and but I really liked it in the end here, how it looks when it was all covered in black through that stencil, and it was really a strong background in my mind. So you can see how striking that is. I love it. I'm super happy with this background. I think this is one of my favorites that I've done in a while. So I wanted to try one more, and and this one is called Lava Lamp. It's a stencil from Miss Ink. And the first one that I used was also a stencil from Miss Ink. It's called Frosty Snowflakes. Really beautiful. Both of these are really amazing, and you can see how that looks. That was one of the panels that I saved in my stash for later, so I will not turn that one into a project today. So when I had all the stuff out, I decided also to create one with some like embellishment mousse. I believe this is called from Nuvo. And this is just a green shade that I had, and I thought it matched the colors that I had on my background pretty nicely. So this one is called Oopsie Daisy, and it has all of these really tiny beautiful flowers, and I'm guessing they are looking like daisies, because yeah, since the stencil is called it. So really pretty, and this dries really fast, so I'm just peeling this off, and I went ahead and cleaned my supplies directly so they didn't like dry on top of my brush sorry, my stencil and my tool that I applied the texture paste with. And here I did the same thing, but with red glitter glitter paste, and I left it dry for a couple of hours, and here's the result. This is my favorite. It's really shiny. I hope the camera is picking it up. And then I decided to have a play with all of the backgrounds and figure out how I could assemble these to show them off the best way. So I used a die and just cut out the centerpiece of this, and then I used a die from Trinity Stamps that just says love, and that created our first card. And here I'm cutting out a section from this panel, and I will space them apart, and you will see that I will stamp a sentiment. But before that I went ahead and just heat embossed a white sentiment on top of a black cardstock that says happy birthday, and I will use that for our other panel. You can see I thought in a minute here that I was going to use that, but I decided to go with this one instead. So here you can see how it looks, and I used my Misty just to get everything in perfect place, and then I can just ink it out a couple of times, and then I can adhere my pieces down. So a really simple card to create, and you can, if you're doing this, it's really easy to just mass produce project like this, since you're doing them in like bulks. You're doing one day you're doing the inking, and one day maybe the texture paste, and one day you're doing the stamping and the assembly. So really easy to do. And when I had that blooming brush stamp set out, I decided for my last project that I wanted to heat emboss a couple of the flower clusters on top of some vellum and then cut them out. And so that was what I did, and you can see here that I will place this on top of my... I know it's not nice to play favorites with your projects, but this was my favorite for the day, and I used the embossed flowers on top of this panel and the sentiment that I heat set previously in this video. So that was pretty much it for this video. I hope you got inspired to use your supplies and use what you have at home, and maybe play around with your stencils as well. I know that I had a super fun time just creating these projects. And if you like to check out the products that I used in this video, I will be having them linked down below. And I will also have a coordinating blog post if you like to see still shots of my projects. So until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye!